So, uh, so we want to implement Java Web Token. For this, we need to add dependency. So let's go to this website mbnrepository.com, and here we will search for JWT. So we have to open up API implementation and Jackson. These three you have to open. And if you try to click on this thing like latest version, just click on the latest version. So here's this you need to add in your POM file, as I have already added. So you can add this thing. Uh, so second and third. So after you will add, you need to reload the Maven file so that this dependency gets loaded in the POM file. So the one more thing that we have to do after we have downloaded, I mean, if you have copied the dependency and added the dependency in the POM file. So the another thing that you need actually this is called the secret key. So you can actually land on this website, security-site.com, and here you have to select the key size 256 and just copy this thing. The key. I will show you shortly that how we will use this key, this key like this key. Okay, so let's just start. First of all, the first thing was to add the dependency of JWTS. JWTS, I mean JWTS means Java Web Token. So you can see that that are not there. So let me just quickly add this dependency. These were three dependencies. First was API, second was, so here I am again, I'm adding the dependency here. So this is called API implementation and Jackson. Okay. So dependency are added because I have already added these dependencies. So that's why if you add it first time, maybe they would be red highlighted and you have to reload the POM file from here. Like otherwise this option would come like this has come. Otherwise you can do this thing like from here. You can do reload project. Okay. So we can actually go to the next step. So here what we have to do is actually we have to create a JWT service. So JWT service, and so let's just say it's a service. So I should annotate it with service and private final string secret key. You remember I mean, we copied a key from a web page, a simple security. So the key need to be placed here. Okay. So this is the key that we will use. Now what we have to do is actually we have to write some methods. So the idea is that whenever the user would hit the register or the login, so we should provide him a token, something just like this secret key. So first of all, then the first thing would be like we have to generate token. This method should be written generate token. And what should it take? It should take user detail. Means user detail. Without it, it would not work. So user detail. Let's just say user detail. Okay. So what we have to do is actually we have to create we have to call a method from JWTS JWT dot uh, JWTS dot. Let me just look. So this is called I was just making a mistake here. This is called a JWTS. This is actually a capital. So builder dot. So you can say that there are many things after builder. First of all, we have to write subject, and then we will write subject issue at. Okay, the starting date, expiration date, and then we have to sign with, and then we will call compact. Okay, so this is the our idea that we will do. And so first of all, that's just it's a subject. So subject we will fetch from the user detail dot get username. So that will be the subject. Issue at. Okay, so this is the one thing that should be issue at. So we will actually use the date Java util date, and let's just call system dot let's just call it system dot current time millisecond. Okay, and expiration date, what should be the expiration date? System dot current milliseconds, and let's just plus something in it. What should we plus? I mean, we want to plus 24. There are 24 hours in a day and 60 minutes, and multiply by 1000 because it's a millisecond. So that should work. And sign in with, so get sign in. Okay, let's say just write this function. We will write this function. Okay, and so after you will do the compact, it will return the string. Like you can actually understand builder. It's a build, and the compact is actually return a string. You can say the compact return a string. So let's just write this function get sign in key and get sign. Okay. What should be the method name, by the way? Get sign in key. Let's just say call that get sign in key. Okay. So let's just write the function get sign in key. So basically, what should it return? Sign in key means it's a secret key. So it should return secret key. That should be Java extract crypto, from it should come from the Java extract crypto, and the name is already we have decided get sign key. I think let's just make it camel case to have a okay. It does not take any parameter. So here we will do. We actually this have a secret key and we decode it. Decoders dot decode. Decoders dot base 64 dot decode, and we will going to pass the secret key. And so basically if you check decode, what does it return? It returns like uh, R type. So basically it return byte array byte. So let's just call it keys. Okay, and what we have to do actually, then we have to, this is still not HMS key for, and it takes byte, so keys should be written in this way because we have to return secret keys. So that's why we did this thing. I think that is done. Secret key are used as we expected. So another thing was that, let's say after this thing, generate token is there. Now we have to extract all claims. Public. Uh, so when I say extract all claims, so basically so it returns claims, extract all claims. Okay. And what does it take? It takes actually uh, when you want to say that extract all claims, then what should it should take? It should take only string token. I mean, it should take string token because each and everything will be inside the token. So how you will do it? Like you want to say that extract all the tokens, extract all claims from the token. So use JWTs dot parser. Okay, dot build. So first of all, we have to verify with. Okay, so I want to verify it with the uh, get sign key, and then I want to do is actually called it's a build. JWT parser, basically you want JWT parser and parse and claim, and then I will say that I just need token, and then I would say get payload. Okay, so payload, you can say that payload actually return the claims. Okay, so let's just return it from here. So what if I have all the claims, but what if I want a particular claim? So when I say that I want a particular claim, then it should be of some type this thing like extract claim. Okay, and so what should it take? It should take string token. Okay, string token. And the next thing it should take actually uh, it should take actually a function. Okay, function tr function t it should take a function. I mean that function should has claims and t. I would explain that. I mean when we will call this function, you will see it. Claims t and here let's say claim resolver. Claim resolver. Let's say I mean what it was calling claim function. We can call claim function. So first of all, we will call var claims. Let's just call extract all claims and let's just pass to a token. Okay, so the token all we have is now what we have to do is actually claim t function dot apply and what we want to apply claims apply. So whatever the method that you have passed, I want to apply to the claims and whatever actually it comes, I just want to return it. Okay, so that's it. It is just that simple. Very very much easy to actually implement. Okay, so there are two more things that we have to do. The generate token, but I want to find if the token is token valid. Okay, is token valid, and I also want to have a function like is token expired. Okay, is token expired. So in both of the things, what I'm going to pass actually, I'm going to pass token. Okay, string token, and I'm expecting that you would return result with a boolean. Okay, it's a boolean because either it will be yes or either it will be no. So this is the thing. So let's just see how we will do it. I mean, if you want to say is the token valid, okay. So basically, validity means you have to check the username match and token is not expired. And when you say is the token expired, so that basically means you want to check the expiration is not expired. So is token expired basically takes string token and if I want to implement this token expired, then what I need to do is actually I should have this thing like is token expired, then I should have expiration date. So let's just write a function public date get means we can actually say extract username or we can say get I'm just using get expiration and what it should pass to me because it should pass to me token because token is something that is token expired have so it should pass token and here I would call extract claims and I'm going to pass it to the uh, first of all token okay and the second is claim colon get expiration so you can see that this way we actually defined it as a function here first as claim second as a t so whatever actually it returns we should return it as well and extract expiration so another thing was extract username okay username because we need it into the this token valid so extract username and that basically gets subject because we uh, set username as a string here you can say as a subject so when you say is token expired So I just need to call exact expiration. Okay, and I just need to pass token. And okay, so and it should be before. It should be before, but when I say it should be before, that means it should be before with the current times. New date. New date. Okay. So if expiration is before this date, it means that the token is not expired. If it is after or equal to this date, it means that has expired. Okay. And is token valid? How we will actually implement this function is token valid. So first of all, we should call extract username and just pass token. Okay, so let's just collect the username. Username. So first of all, we should compare use. Let's just use objects dot equal this username and username from the. So here we actually need one more thing, like we need user detail. Otherwise, we will not be able to find the. So user detail. Uh, dot get username. Okay, and we should end it with means after this thing we should end that the token is not expired. Is token expired? And we should pass token. Okay, and let's just return this result. So what we did actually, we implemented is token valid, we implemented is token expired. Okay, so these two methods, and generate token is also there, extract username, extract uh, uh, expiration are there. So there are total 8 methods that we have actually implemented. So further we will see that how we can implement like JWT authentication filter. So right now we are going to write a JWT authentication filter. Okay, and basically these filters are something that before control comes to the control comes to the filter. So we're going to write this filter and let's just have an annotation to make it a bean. So let's just have a component bean. Okay, and so we want it to that it should extend. Okay, it should extend. It means it should extend any class. Okay, otherwise it implements an interface. That is a once per request filter. Once per request filter, and we have to implement its method. Okay, that's it. So we have to implement this method, and so these methods should have as a should override some notation. So let's just say non-null, non-null, that from the Lombok. Okay, we have to make sure that these actually. So here there are three scenarios: new user, and the other scenario is called uh, I mean no authentication, no authentication. Authentication, and second is called already authenticated, and the third is called need to authenticate. So there are three possible ways scenarios that can occur. Okay, so first of all, no authentication, it means someone has provided, has called it, and it does not have a authentication. So how we will actually get the request? We need to get request, and so what we want to get actually, we want to get authorization. So we need to get header. Okay, we need to get header. So we need to get headers, and we have to pass string, and I want to say authorization. So authorization is something that is actually passed. String, let's just say auth. Okay, so this is a string that we have got. There can be two possible ways. Either it is null, means it does not is there, or the second is called auth, does not start with bearer token. BRE. Okay, so if there is any case like this, what we should do is actually we return like because it's something like uh, filter chain dot do filter, and we took pass request response. I told you that it is something that is called before the control, so we are actually returning the console. So this is the first case. Okay, this is here we have got the authentication, and if there is no authentication there, we are returning it. Okay, and the third case is called if it is already authentic, if already authenticated. Okay, if it is already authenticated, then we need to do like the same thing. We will not do anything. Okay, so here we have to write the uh, third case. Let's just so here we write need to authenticate, like if the user is new or need to authenticate. So what we actually needed is we need like username. uh, we might want to make sure that the username is not authenticated. So first for this thing we need JWT service. So I think let's just call it private JWT service, JWT service, and from here, I think first of all, what we need to do is JWT service dot get extract username, but it needs a token. So first of all, let's just try to pick a token, like how we will pull the token auth dot substring. Let's just say 7. Okay, 7 is why we said 7, because it comes after 7 character. We will see it in after debugging mode how it will actually getting the things, but after 7 it should take pick the token, and token should be there. Okay, and what it should return, it should return username. Okay, so what we need to do is actually if username uh, is not null, and I mean it means the username is there. Okay, and the second, how we will actually get to know that it is not authenticated, and we need to authenticate right now. We need security builder context, security builder context. I think it's a security context holder, security context holder. Okay, so here we actually security context holder. So we have to get authenticate authentication. Dot get context dot get authentication, and what we should need to do is actually we need to pass token. Okay, because how will we get to know? I mean, we don't need to pass anything. If we try to look at get authentication, it is actually what is it saying that okay, it cannot be applied, and it is applied authentication. Okay, so okay, it should be null. Okay, so if it is there, so it means if we are here, like if we are here, and it means we need to authenticate this user. So how we will authenticate the user? Basically, so we have to actually When we say that we need authentication, it basically means that we have to generate a authentication token. I mean, it's something like token. Uh, Let me just show you username, password, authentication token. Okay, it's something like this. So this is something that we will do. And if you try to, let's just create its object. So it how many parameter it takes? It takes object, second credentials, and the third is authorities. So here I need the object of user detail. So how will I get the user detail object? For this, I think I need a user detail service. User detail service. If there is any user detail service, yes. I just need a user detail service or something like this because I need to hit the database. So, so I think I just need auto-wired private and my user detail service because in that my user detail service I have implemented load user by name. Okay, so let's just call it here. My user is equal to. So we have to this thing like username and password authentication token. Okay, and it takes like a user and I told you that this thing like it has the method load user by name. So let's just call this thing like load user by username and we have a username actually. So just provide user and null and that user dot get authorities. Okay, so this thing is done. So now we have to do this thing like first of all before leaving we have to set this thing like security context builder security context holder dot so first of all let's just take this thing token let's just say not call token auth token. Okay, and let's just call get context and set authentication and let's just call auth token. The second thing where that we need to do is actually we have to set the request where we have to set the request before going to the auth token. We have to set details its details. Okay, and it actually takes an object. Okay, so let's just create an object new web authentication details source and in this we are going to provide a request. Okay, uh, we have to actually call build source. Okay, if this is not working in this way then let's just call build source build details I think build details. So this thing before I mean setting to the auth token we actually set the object request to it and then that's it. Okay, so each and everything is actually done. So the last thing that actually remaining we have completed JWT authentication filter, JWT authentication service. What we need to do actually we need to go to the like auth controller. Okay, and here no we have to go to the auth service. Okay, and here what we need to do is actually okay when you pass the username I will check user already exists or not and then I try to save it. So this needs to be changed because uh, I am right now using the password authentication token. So in the auth service, we have to change something like if you see right here, okay. So this is sign up and we try to collect the username and then we try to check if the username is there or not. So I think let's just it's auth service, okay. And user already exists, we are throwing an exception. If that is not there, we are actually creating a user that is okay. I mean, we are creating a user and we are setting its role and we are saving it and we are setting the ID and it. So one thing that we need to change is actually on the login, we are not going to return like on the sign up, we're not going to return an entity. Instead, we are going to return authentication response with a token in it. So let's just have a object authentication response. Okay, authentication response. So let's just add get certified all are one constructor private string token. Okay. So what we are going to do is actually where it is auth service. So here these two things need to be, and we don't need to actually save the response as well. So what we are going to do is actually we are going to call JWT service. So let's just start over private JWT service. Okay, JWT service, and we are going to say hey JWT service. Please generate token, and we are going to provide a user detail DTU. So let's just pass its entity. Okay, because both so it is going to generate as a token var token, and from here we are actually going to pass new authentication token, new authentication response, and token with it. Okay, so this thing, and let's just copy authentication response from here to here. So okay, so I think it will start working. Let's just see where it is causing the issue. So here, what we will do authentication response, and let's just say authentication. Let's just say response, and it will going to return a response entity, and in the response entity, which will be club with the authentication response. And let's just say response entity dot okay. Okay, so, so this is I'm going to return. Okay, the same thing will be going to do with the login. So where it is auth service. So we are actually collecting the username and password get by username, and so this thing we will not do. Okay, so this thing we will not do. Instead, we will use like authentication manager, and we will use the authentication manager for doing this. Like how we will do it. First of all, we need a token, new username, password authentication token, and it what does it takes? Uh, we created it before that, I think, and we're going to pass it these two things. First is called username, and second is called password. Okay, and var token. We will debug it further to see how it actually works, and then we need to authenticate it. Okay, auto wired private uh, authentication manager. Authentication manager. Okay, so let's just call a method authentication manager, and we're going to pass this token. Okay, so let's say if it is actually it's okay. It, we can say that the user is authenticated. If the answer is yes, so what we need to do actually, we still don't need to pass the Still need to create a token. So we still user detail. We don't need to save the object. Okay. Token, and for token we need like if we want to generate a token, we need entity. Entity is something like it's optional. So let's just say it's a get. Okay. Okay. We have entity dot is present, and let's just wrap it around. Okay. So here what we are going to do is actually we are going to return authentication response token, and let's just copy this thing from here to here. So it will again fix by itself. We are token using multiple times. Okay, so this is a token. Let's just call this auth auth, and let's just paste it here. And right now we are going to this auth controller. What we need to do actually, we need to copy this thing. We need to copy here, and then we have to say response entity dot okay. Okay, so it means that's it. So we are done with the implementation. We have implemented it. We have implemented the auth service, modified it. Okay. So the last thing that actually remaining authentication manager, we have to actually provide as a bean in the security config. So let's just come to the here, and here we can actually remove this thing because we're no longer using tau authentication provider. Okay. So let's just provide as a bean, and let's say public and authentication manager. So it does not take any parameter, and what we need to do actually, so it should take any it should take authentication configuration. Otherwise, how we are going to authentication manager, not configuration. Let's just call it auth. Let's just call it configuration. And what we need to do actually, so let's just return this thing, configuration dot authentication manager. Okay. So what it's saying that add exception. Okay, add exception as well. So let's just run it, and then we will debug it in moment of time. Let's just remove this thing. So we still have to do something like here. If you get here, you could get to know that how we have to tell him that use the authentication filter that we have provided, and use the user detail service. Okay. So for these things, I have to http dot add filter before that should be JWT authentication filter. So for these things, I'm just starting by private JWT authentication filter, JWT authentication filter, and let's just make this as well private. Okay, so it takes actually two parameters. First is that the second is class, that is called username password authentication class. Username password authentication filter dot class. Okay, so that is there. Then we have to tell like which services should it use, http dot user detail service, that service should be my user detail service. Okay. And what else we need to provide, we have to tell that the session management, http dot session management. So it actually takes a parameter session dot session creation policy, and let's just call Session stateless. Okay, so these are the things, and we can actually remove this line. So HTTP dot HTTP basic means we want that it should have a uh, HTTP basic, like we can remove this line. Actually, this line we can remove because we are not using basic authentication. Instead, we are using CSR of we really want that it should continue. So I think we are done with it. So let's just run it. So this is the home endpoint. I mean, we can hit it without any authorization in place. So it is working. Let's just try to, I mean, we have student and teacher in the database. Let's just try to enter tutor as well. So you can say response is, we are actually getting the response as a token. That's what we wanted. Let's just close it. And this is a tutor, and we were able to log in. Okay, we were able to log in. We were able to find the. So we have got the token. Let's just use this token to fetch all the tasks. For fetch all the tasks like here. Just using the bearer, we gonna place this token and just try to hit it. So we are getting, you're seeing that we are getting error 403 forbidden. So let's just look into the code and try to debug it, that where we are actually missing something, because the response should be something like list of all the tasks, but this is not the response. Okay, so this is basically we I want to add I have run it in debugger mode. Okay, and I want to put a debugging point here, and let me just hit this endpoint from behind the scene. So the control comes here. Okay, from the postman I have hit it, and right now you can see the control is right here. Let's just try to check what we have in the request. Okay, so request has something like this. We cannot understand it right now, but let's just proceed it further. Let's just step over and let's just see that do we have anything. So what is actually happening is auth is equal to null and auth dot starts with bearer. Okay, so that is actually getting to null, due to which you can see we are not getting the token. So when we are not getting the token, then as a result, we are getting something like uh, issue. Okay, so auth should start with bearer. Okay, but for some reason it is actually not starting with bearer. And do we have auth header? Let's just try to look into this auth thing. Auth has authorization. So let's just try to copy this thing, okay, and put and try to execute right here. Okay, so you can say that it should it starts with bearer. Okay, so that was the actual string that we provided, ey something like this, that ends with ba. So it should be the, I mean, it should be the case. Okay, let's just close it. So here was a mistake. Okay, we have to place right here not. If it is not null like something like this, then should the response something like this. I mean, if the auth is null and auth does not start with bearer, then we have to do this thing like this. So with the debugging point, we have actually established that where we actually there was a issue. Okay, so let's just remove it and let's just run it again. Means we don't need to run it again. We need to run it again because we have just added a not sign here, and let's just test from the postman. This time we should get the result because we have figured out the issue. So okay, let's hit it this time now. You can see we can actually get the result. Each result we are getting, I mean, there is only one task, so that's why it is having one task. This user ID is different, but it's actually getting the task of other user ID. That's I told you that there is a issue with it, but we will fix it uh, quickly after some time. And let's just try to use this to endpoint. Like let's just try to create a task because we should also create a task. So its user ID, I think its user ID was so let's just try to. So there is an issue. What is the issue? So the issue is that we should change this to the user ID instead of username, because for user what is most apparent is user name, because otherwise we should have a endpoint right here with which we can extract all the detail of the user. Okay, so due to which uh, I just have to look into the database to get the user ID. So its user ID is 14. Okay, so it's a tutor. Let's just conduct session. Let's just have something like this: conduct session. Okay, it's a create and it's a false. And let's just try to fetch the token from here. And let's just go there and click on the bearer token. So it is already there. We don't need to do anything. So you can say that there. If we want to fetch this ID, we can fetch it's 15. Okay, let's just go there and let's just try to put 15 over there, and we should make it to the bearer token, and we were able to put it again. Let's just try to update it. Okay, so update the user, I update the task. Okay, so in update, so we are actually passing the user ID. Okay, so let's just copy this into the update, and let's just make it that it is a true. Okay, why this 401 forbidden? Because something we have not done. Okay, so that is completed. So the last thing was to test the delete endpoint. So delete should be like because it's, if you try to check its ID is 16. So let's just try to delete it from there. 16. Let's just say that it's a bearer token, and let's just say it's a deleted object is deleted. So let's try to pull all the tasks and see are we getting the result. So it should be deleted. Conduct session, and if we go to the delete endpoint right here, we can see that it object not found. So it is actually returning object not found. So it was not deleted. There is some issue in it. We will fix it later. But somehow the security that we placed is working. So that was we wanted to test. Let's just lastly test these two endpoints. So let's just say it's a bearer token. Can we hit the endpoint with it? No. So this is what we expected. So that's it.